For 7 months, they've been training for this moment, a dusk departure for a 200-mile trek across cruel country under conditions that would prevail behind enemy lines.
Best of luck. I'd just like to say.
This is it then, Matt, isn't it? Combination of the course. How important is this for them?
Oh, very important, yeah. For them, it is for me. I hope it goes right. I hope they come up to expectations, I'm sure they will.
What can go wrong on this?
Well, everything, really. With the weather closing in like it is now, it's not failing to make their objectives and losing them. That's mainly the main thing, is losing them. That's my biggest worry, is to lose them, I suppose. So, don't know who's more nervous than me, I don't know. Let's hope it works.
Exercise Naughty Finale is a long-range patrol exercise which is the culmination of ML2 Arctic training phase. It is designed to test the ML2 course on the following subjects: helicopter insertion, deep penetration patrolling, close target reconnaissance, agent contact drills, communications, mountain movement and safety, the use of caches, agent pipeline routine, observation posts, and limited Arctic survival. The exercise will take place in the area from Grotley, across to Dombas, south of Jurkin through Grimsdalen, down to Altenbru, and then carrying on down here to Lillehammer, Nordsetter and Shushan. Total distance about 270 kilometres.
The Royal Naval Sea King helicopters dumped them in a place so godforsaken that it has no name, only a grid reference on a military map. It is 100 miles from anywhere, and the temperature is a brisk -40. They will travel on skis in teams of 4. Each man carries almost 100 weight of equipment. It is more now than a mere thesis and survival. It is a fully operational mission in which information, all coded, must continually be fed back to base.
Beautiful, Alpha, November, Foxtrot, November, Romeo.
Only 2 minutes, but well worth it. Only 2 minutes, but well worth it. Stretch the legs, get along.
Surreptitiously, they're shadowed by the ubiquitous and also mechanized Sergeant McLean. The nearer pylon is their first objective. Interred close by under freshly fallen snow are their first rations for 3 days. But in country like this, when you've seen one pylon, you've seen them all, and Norway has several 100,000 of them. By map reference only, they must pin down an area of 20 square feet.
Well, they've done great. With the weather conditions, as you know what it was. They've done
Tell
all
us
right.
what it was, because we haven't actually got it on film.
Well, it is 25 knot winds, temperature -20, which probably gives them -35, 40 temperatures. Complete whiteout conditions. So they've now skied 50k.
How crucial is it that they hit these food caches?
For them, very crucial. If they don't hit them now, then they're going to be very uncomfortable and lack of food for the next 3 days, which is the next one. So it's crucial that they hit them. They'll have emergency rations, but you can't live on emergency rations and ski these sort of distances.
War conditions are strictly observed, a sentry is posted.
He seems to try to tell us that he had blue-nosed last night. Do you want to show further?
Only the avalanche probes can now confirm whether they've found the correct pylon across thousands of square miles of wilderness. Bearing the treasure that brings a whole new meaning to frozen food, they ski on to their next assignment, 2 full days away. This task requires timing as well as navigation. A rendezvous with an agent, a member of the Norwegian Special Forces, on a lonely bridge. They're to hand over photographs they've taken for use in future sabotage.
This is their agent contact point. And what's going to happen is that they're going to meet an agent to give them orders for them to be put in agent pipeline. They've carried out their task, and they've done all their OPs and close target recognition, etc., etc. They'll pass on all that information to this agent. He will then give them another location to ski to, where they'll meet probably another agent, and then they'll go on through the pipeline for the next 3 or 4 days.
To be frank, isn't that just a bit James Bondish?
No, it sounds it, and in actual fact, that is the way you would operate, and we've operated that way before, for real. For them to operate as they are in 4-man teams, it's no good me flying a helicopter in here to resupply them. If they would be operating this far forward as the exercise is, and they would operate anyway, they would have to go through a pipeline to get them out of it.
The handover is to take place at night, and once again our pictures are by courtesy of image intensifiers. The 1st Marines group win few marks for an unimaginative contact. They send a man with a rifle, conspicuously a soldier.
Cream pictures for breakfast. Hei. Alt bra? Alt OK? Alt bra? Alt OK med dere?
Half an hour later, an apparent civilian arrives, speaking excellent Norwegian.
Hvor skal du?
Hvor lang er til Lillehammer?
Og 3-4 dager.
Red Sox og Burgervåtnet.
Ah, jeg hadde green peaches for breakfast. When I saw this civilian coming towards us, I started on, and he asked about the way to Lillehammer. I was a little surprised. He looked like one of the men I know from the area here, so I really thought he was a civilian.
He was speaking in Norwegian.
He was partly speaking in English, but at last he spoke very good Norwegian, yes. Okay. And I asked the everyone in Norwegian if they had problems, and they said yes, they had problems. And there was only 2 men of them here, and the other were all 7 kilometers from here.
Did you say what the problems were?
Well, yes, they had a problem with their radio, and they had been to a telephone kiosk and made a telephone call to get a new radio, and I had a new radio for him here. But he was speaking very good Norwegian, so it wasn't a problem for me. Har du noe for meg? Have
Yes.
you for me?
Yes. Et øyeblikk.
That was a pretty good performance, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a textbook performance. He did everything as he should do, and it was more or less perfect.
Were you surprised, though, that he was in civilian clothes?
Normally I would, until I saw who it was.
What do you mean by that?
Well, he uses a lot of initiative, and I think for an area like this, he probably looked at the area and thought there's going to be a lot of people knocking about. And for his approach, also the problems he had earlier on in the day, for him to ski about in uniform and try and get to phones, etc., he's got to get hold of some civilian clothing. Obviously, he did do.
The photographs and sketches that departing Lieutenant Smith has delivered to the agent go back to HQ for analysis. They contain explicit details of how to blow up an integral part of the Norwegian railroad system, an exercise which happily never goes further than the theoretical stage.
And what we discovered was along here, yards from the edge of the railway line, there was a very sheer cliff going down to the gorge, the same gorge which your bridge goes over, in fact, one section's bridge. And my first thought was, if you could crater that there, you could block the line completely and they'd be stumped. We definitely recommend that the western end is attacked because the eastern end is easier to approach and they can obviously get more equipment to bear to fix the damage. The actual tunnel itself starts off, it's got a concrete surround at the front. It's about 7 metres in height, 6 metres wide. I've got all the dimensions, but just to give you a rough idea. 14 metres into the tunnel is reinforced concrete. It then ends abruptly. There's a recess on each side of about 1/2 metre, a little over 1/2 metre, and then you've got bare rock. So anyone laying charges would probably have to move at least 20 metres into the tunnel to blow it.
Well, those 2 black dots there are the 2 tunnels, and we actually put our OP in just above them, up here. And as Tom will explain, when they actually did the CTR, they looked back from the station area, and there was no way they could see our position. I don't intend to go into the train times now. They're in the actual pack which we handed to the agent. Suffice to say, this gives us passenger and goods times, and we also managed to purloin off a friendly agent an actual civilian train timetable, which would naturally, if you're going to blow the tunnel, which Tom will come on to on the CTR, you don't want to do it while there's a civilian train in the vicinity. Okay?
I'll now cover the CTR for 3 section on the actual junction. We'll show you the viewfall in 2 parts. To orientate you, this here is the road that leads to Donbass. This is the footpath that we keep talking about, and it goes up quite steep ground up back here and eventually joins onto the E6.
Ostensibly, their graduation examination is coming to a close. They have 40 miles to go, and all 4 teams have been ordered to link up for the final phase.
You don't need it anymore, do you?
Their last rendezvous is with the helicopter they assume is to fly them out to warmth, a bath, fillet steak, a phone call to their wives, and sleep. One helicopter, but no Marines. So enthusiastic is their commanding officer, John Lear, to see them again, that he lands before the helicopter.
Aren't you annoyed that they're not here?
I'm not annoyed. I'm perhaps a little sorry they didn't make the last 6 kilometres, but what 6 kilometres? You know, they've skied about, I would say, just under 200 or perhaps just over 200 in the last 10 days, which is pretty good going for what they've had to do. And don't forget they spent 2 days on an operation as well, doing nothing but sitting still.
Do you want them really rock bottom when they come in?
No, I want them to still have the ability to go on and do something else when they come in, but I want them to know what their limits are. And I believe that they'll be close to their limits at the moment.
Show us on the limits, Tom.
They do make it an hour late, hanging on the single acronym that will mean it's over.
Index! Ah!
ENDEX, Marines speak for end of exercise. But it's not quite that simple to qualify for an elite Special Forces unit. They're ordered into the helicopter for a reception and a destination they'd never dreamed of.
We had an idea that there was something happening. So we arranged that we wouldn't go without a fight. So what we planned on, when we embarked on the helicopter, was going to leave George and Jan, the big Dutch officer, in the last 2 seats, so they'd be first out, so they could handle anybody who was there, or hopefully handle anybody who was there. And then we was all going to pile out any door we could and have a go at it.
At their lowest physical ebb, they've been set up for capture to test whether they'll resist. They do.
They're all standing there, and we piled out, and it was the old, what's going on? And then something clicked, and they realised we were running for it. And the ones that didn't get far enough had to stand and fight. And that's when people started getting hurt. And it just escalated from there.
I mean, you'd imagine trying to hold someone like Big Jan. And they did it, but it took 6 of the buggers to do it. And they were using everything. So consequently, we reacted in the same way. It comes to the law of the jungle, really. Do unto others and all that, but do the bugger first, because otherwise you're going to get hurt. And we all got hurt. All of them, all of us.
You know, obviously on a course or whatever, someone's got to be in charge of it. They've got to have the rules and that. But Elite Course Spirit is a way of actually getting back at them without breaking those rules or going against authority, you know. It's a way of, like, I suppose, hitting back who's hitting you.
What occurred in the final 48 hours of their little odyssey was sufficiently unrelaxing to become subject to the Official Secrets Act. But at last, after 7.5 months, it's over. The only remaining strain is the waiting, to learn whether they've failed or passed. If their home base in Plymouth tends to look more like Crufts than a military establishment, then it's a timely reminder that, at heart, Royal Marine Commandos are kindly, sentimental men who've been pining for their mascot.
He's still as vicious as ever. We just give him...
One of the best fighting traditions of the service.
Yeah. Actually, I think if they train him up properly, you know, the next course could take him and it can be quite a benefit. See him stalking the rabbits and screaming down from the sky. We all find out today exactly, you know, how well or how badly one's done and, you know, whether you've passed or not. Hopefully everyone will have passed. I mean, I can't really see any reason for anyone to have failed, but like we always keep saying, you know, you never really know. It's up to them, you know, what they decide. I don't think it really should happen that you should get this far and fail, but it does actually happen, so, I mean, you know, have to wait and see.
It's worse than waiting for your O-levels. Anyone who's failed will be sent back to his unit immediately.
John Mills, Sergeant Major, watch it. Down.
Just shut the door, will you, please? As soon as you had the results, those that failed would come straight in and start the living routine. Why didn't you start it?
Nobody said anything, sir.
I heard Sergeant McLean say it to you this morning on the parade. Those that you have failed, as soon as you come out from your result, go to the Sergeant Major and start your living routine.
We haven't had the results yet, sir. Don't know nothing about it.
Oh. All right, my apologies. I thought you had the results. Okay, right, while you're in, you just want to take those away for you. That's your replacement underwear items that should have come about 3 months ago.
Thanks,
okay, wait outside. Send Court Mills in. Court Mills. There's your CTAC ready to go on leave.
Yep.
Why haven't you been here before?
We weren't told anything, sir.
I heard Sergeant McLean tell you this morning on the parade. That you were to come here immediately you'd had your result.
We haven't had our results yet, sir.
Oh. Oh, perhaps I've jumped the gun a bit then. Go on, downstairs again. See me as soon as you come out of the boss's office.
Corporals Craig and Mills failed, only to be immediately reinstated. Sergeant Major Shiner Wright will have his little joke.
I was put up to that, you two. It's a fight. Which wicket to do what?
Your underpants are full.
Adrenaline is brown.
I've got brown adrenaline running down my leg.
Well, I see you call Sergeant Major for that.
I will, sir.
Mills, Corporal Clayton, Corporal Miller, Corporal Johnson, Corporal Dix, Corporal Thompson, Corporal Corana. Okay, attention. Quick march. Hold in front of the boss's desk. Salute.
I'm Corporal Craig, stand easy and stand easy. We've got your final course report after the 7.5 months, and I'm going to read it to you. Lance Corporal Craig is a fit, determined junior NCO, a course character who always gives his best. He reached an above-average climbing standard at the end of the Wales phase. As a novice in the Arctic, he found some of the skiing hard going. However, his outgoing personality and grit enabled him to cope well. A little shabby with his practical demonstrations at times, but produced an above-average final one in the snow and ice phase. A likeable man who should be an asset to the branch. Don't need to stand at attention to shake the hand. Right, that's it. Oh, hang on. I want you to sign this bastard. Just sign there. Let's say you've read it.
Big smash is actually screaming out when Jans just chucked him out.
Okay, I'll read the bottom bit to you. Sergeant Matthews has passed out of the course as the top student and will receive the Thompson Trophy in recognition. He approached the course with a sensible, mature attitude, which was only to be expected of an experienced senior NCO. Sergeant Matthews will do well in whatsoever job he's employed, giving 100% effort at all times. He is awarded a superior pass for the course. Congratulations.
I'm looking forward to getting to a unit now and doing the job that I've trained for. It's something I've wanted to do for quite a while. I'm just glad it's over and done with.
When we talked in Norway, you said you would leave the corps if you failed, didn't you mean it?
Yeah, I did. I seriously meant it. If I'd have failed the course, I've spent the last 3 years trying to get a career in the Corps, and this is the career that I chose. And if I'd failed this course, it meant I'd have had to start again, look towards other things and start from scratch, so I'd have got out. But as it is now, I'll probably sign on.
Should I finish? Hold on, mate.
It's any George. What's it?
George. Right, lads, don't go anywhere yet. I want someone to get the key for the lecture room. We'll all get in there, and I want a final word for you before you all go and have your scran. And you've got the detail for this afternoon. There's one or two words I want to say. Don't amble. We've got work for you to do out there. I was going to say let's all thin off down the booze and have a wet, but we'll make that tonight. And when all the formalities are finished, then we'll get together and have... The boss doesn't want it to turn into a hoolie, but I'm sure it fucking will. Just so that you don't disappoint him on the last thing that you do. Don't anybody let me down tonight, and you're singled out. You'll find out now wherever you go. They'll say, oh yeah, you're the card or whatever course you do, and you get treated that little bit better, and you're expected to be that little bit better no matter what course you go on, whether it be combat SIGs, whether it be para course, or up on a combat survival or whatever. Well done all of you. Good set of classes and a good course. Been a pleasure to work with you. And I'll see you tonight. Let's go. Unless you want to take them away, for down the back. You don't want to take them away.
A fanfare and a police escort for those who've made it. 8 months ago, 26 men set out to become members of the Royal Marines Mountain and Arctic Warfare Cadre. 13 fell off rocks or by the wayside. 13 came through. They are men of style, men of a very special Special Forces unit.
That's nice, yeah, that's good. You want just for one or two? Yeah, we'll run through a few now. That's it.